What is up, guys? Knowledge here, bringing you a video on how to improve within Search and Destroy on Modern Warfare. If you're a beginner or a pro, it doesn't matter. We're going to be bringing tips all the way from beginner to pro. So there's going to be something in this video for everybody. Now you might be asking yourself, why would you want to learn how to play Search and Destroy within Modern Warfare from me of all people? I have over 27 days played within the game mode, which equates to about 600 hours and over 2,000 hours playing Modern Warfare in general. I've been playing Search and Destroy game mode on multiple CODs since I was 8 years old. So let's just say I know a thing or two about how to play this game mode, the tempos, rush routes, power positions, etc., etc. Things we're going to be learning about in this video. I'm going to teach you guys the right perks to use, weapons to use, how to move the fastest around the map. You name it, we're going from beginner all the way to the pro section. Now, of course, we're not gonna be able to cover everything. This would literally be like an hour-long video, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over some simple concepts that you personally can elaborate on and use these concepts on any map and build a library of power positions and rush routes in your mind. Now, what I wanna do is talk about building a library of rush routes and all this and power positions in your mind and why it's so essential. You need to play this game a lot to get good at it, obviously, but the key is the more that you play, the more you understand timing. You understand, all right, it takes this long to get here. Oh, a guy should be coming here. Oh, I saw him over here. I know it takes this long to travel, moving the fastest possible over here. And you will get that good. That's currently the level I'm on. I can guess where people are 90% of the time because I've just played the game so much. If I hear your footstep or know where you're at, I can guess where you're at 10 seconds later. 50-50 shot. But basically, by building this library, it's going to make it more fun for you, and you're also going to improve incredibly well just over time. So I'm going to share the concepts with you, but it's up to you to play the game and incorporate these principles into your gameplay and become a better player. A lot of people are going to share with you quick tips and tricks, but the only way to become really good, guys, is to play a lot. Look at any pro, they have an insane amount of time played. Now, the first principle or thing that we want to build up within our minds is rush routes. Rush routes are going to allow you to get to power positions, which we're going to talk about later. But basically, rush routes, if you've ever watched your favorite YouTuber play Search and Destroy, you notice that they always start off from spawn. They start running. They're tactical sprinting. As soon as the tactical sprint runs out, they pop a stim. They pop a second one for good luck. And then they're just behind the enemy, or they're in a really good position where the enemy doesn't expect them, not even looking at them. And that's because they know rush routes. Now, there's literally so many rush routes that you can create, it's not even funny. Of course, some rush routes are trash. Some just depend on where you know enemy players are going to be in the map and all the different angles. Now, the reason that's so important for you to test out rush routes and do all that is because there's different angles that you're exposed to. The timing, you need to get that in your mind so you can know where other players are at and things like that. But basically, I'm going to show you some rush routes and just the importance of them and the basic concept. So a good one right here is the first principle is going to be rushing routes. We're going to go over, this is for my beginners out there. I'm going to teach you the fastest way to move around the map. If you're in Search and Destroy, all you got to do is pop on some stims. I don't usually run restock. I'm just running restock so that my stims keep coming back so I can do multiple rush routes for you guys in this video. I usually run high alert. But you're going to have stims, and all you're going to do is you're going to run with a knife out, with your Kali sticks out, and you're going to tactical sprint. As soon as your tactical sprint fades away, you're going to go ahead and pop a stim. And what it's going to do is it's going to reset your tactical sprint so that you're moving as fast as possible. And you can use this to move around the map. That way there's no slide canceling or anything like that. And then I have a full video on this if you want a more in-depth version, but there's also slide canceling that you can do if you don't want to run stims for some odd reason and want to run stuns or something like that. Basically, you just tactical sprint, and as soon as it runs out, you just hit attack slide. You just slide cancel, and the slide cancel will reset your tactical sprint. So that's the fastest way to move around the map. That's just for my beginners out there. But what are rush routes? What is the importance of rush routes? And how can you build your own rush routes? All right, so rush routes are the quickest ways to get to power positions within the game. So knowing how to move the fastest will get you to the places fastest, and it'll get you to power positions. Your spawn is not a power position. You can't afford to be back here in the open, sitting in here like a numbnuts. You need to learn how to move fast around the map. So an example of a rush route. the same exact one that we actually used. We pop a stim as soon as it runs out, and then we meet the enemy players right here. We meet the enemy players over here if they're also rushing as well, which most search and destroy players do know rush routes. This is more of a basic thing, but as if you're not rushing and you're not using stims and you're not slide canceling, you're just running like this, they're gonna pop out on you and they're gonna have the upper hand on you, and you're gonna be stuck out in the open with nowhere to go, because there's a position right here they could peek from. They could peek from down here. It's just not a good situation for you. But you can get creative with rush routes. There's a whole another one. There's one that involves the blue bus right here. Boom. We're already top mid. We're busting through the door and we're up here. And the enemy players are down here. Easy shots. If we got dead silence, we're here and we're unexpected. Rush route. Get to places faster than enemy players expect and obtain power positions faster than enemy players. As simple as that, guys. If you guys want videos on rush routes for the multiple maps, drop it in the comments and let me know. Just move quick around the map and get to key power points before enemy players do. I'm going to show you one more rush just to solidify the idea, and then we'll move on. And here's the last example of a rushing route that we have, guys. You're just going to go ahead, pop a stim, come through the door, come up here, and boom. You're on this power position before the kids even hit the window because you hit the stim, and you can get it a lot cleaner than that. Honestly, that was pretty sloppy, but the point is you want to get to power positions quicker than other people do. The next concept is power positions. So we've talked about rushing and how to get to power positions, but what actually are power positions? So what makes a power position? A good power position example is over here. So right here, enemy players who are popping out of here, I can see enemy players here and call it out for my team. I also have the right hand peek, so if I need to go into cover, I can really quickly. And I can also see over here. So remember that other route that I was showing you where you hop on the blue bus and then go in there? So the person who's here can actually see it and call it out from their peripheral. If they are on a high enough FOV, of course. But basically, that's what I'm saying. You can just gather so much information from playing here. You can sometimes get easy shots, and it's a power position. And power positions, and it's a good example of a power position. Of course, there's another power position. You can just slide cancel, you're hard to hit. Or you can crouch, you're hard to hit within this position. There's so many examples on so many different maps, but the reason it's so important to build up a library of these is you can pre-aim these places because other players will most likely be here. And this is a part of game sense. And it's so important to know power positions because you know where your opponents are going to be based off of the routes and the power positions. So I know if I'm rushing down mid on the other side that it's likely that someone's going to be standing right here where I am. I also know based on the rushing routes that if I was rushing over here, that somebody would pop out right here. And I can be ready for that. Before it even happens, the situation's already going on in my mind because I've played so many times in that situation. Another example is if I'm coming out of down here, I know someone's most likely there because that is a really good position. And I know if I'm hopping up here, there's somebody here, and I know that there's probably somebody here. I know that to come out here and peek this because people like to hide behind the white truck. I know to check spawn. Just checking all the positions that are considered powerful or common will get you a lot of free kills on people who don't expect it. The last concept I want to go over before we go into anything else is tempo. So what is tempo? Basically, it's how the enemy team is playing. You counter it. It's very simple. So if the enemy team is playing hyper aggressive, you play a little bit more calm and you punish their aggression. Basically what you do, you go to a position like this, you know they're going to be rushing super heavy, so you just barely leave yourself peeking. And when they come out rushing, you shoot them while they're in the open. You fall back, you go to another position. You punish people for being too aggressive. Because sometimes people, especially when you're first starting out, people are going to be better than you, and you're going to need to be in a power position to beat them. You can't 50-50 gunfight them. That's what pro players do. Pro players give themselves the most advantage that they can based on positioning, timing, but just make sure that if people are rushing at you super aggressively, the key isn't to get angry and rush back. The key is to sit back and punish their aggression. And people who are camping, you punish them by pushing them as hard as you can and getting behind them and using rush routes that they won't expect because they're being too still. The tempo is key, and you'll get a feel for it. I'll probably be able to show you guys within the gameplay my live review, but just pay attention to the tempo of the game and punish people who are too aggressive and punish people who are playing too stale. The last thing that I want to cover that's pretty basic is currently the perks. So a lot of people who play Search and Destroy run specialists. The best perks right now, in my opinion, is either double time or EOD, most likely double time. High alert is absolutely essential. It will alert you when an enemy sees you. Nobody runs cold-blooded or that I know of. So you're going to get that alert if someone sees you in the back, and you can turn around on them. I turn around on people countless times actually using this technique. And then you got the tracker mode as well. Tracker is just going to show you where enemies are walking, where their footsteps are located. If they go into corners or certain things like that, you'll also get a notification for that as well. Great for corner campers. Battle harden, again, I wouldn't use that, very situational, only if someone stuns you or something like that. But tune up is a great supplement to tracker because you're going to get dead silence. If you run anything other than dead silence in Search and Destroy, I do not know what you are doing. Run dead silence. It gives you the ability to make great plays, clutch up, and takes away the audio from your opponents, because you're going to see people, or you're going to hear people before you see people. So if you take away people's ability to hear you, you're going to be pretty OP. People have been pushing to get it removed from Warzone in the game for a long time, and there's a reason for that. All right, guys, I hope these tips helped you out. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. I'll respond as soon as possible. And if you want a part 2 or anything more elaborate, let me know as well. I'll be more than glad to create it for you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care. Don't forget to subscribe. Check me out on Twitch if you want that live gameplay. And please drop a like.